Ladies, it's time to wake up. You've been conditioned to believe that attractiveness is skin deep, that it's about the shape of your face, the curve of your body, or the way the world perceives you. But let me tell you the truth: attraction is energy. It's the force you radiate, the presence you command, and the reality you shape with your very being. If you feel different from the rest, if people are magnetized toward you and you don't even know why, then listen closely. You may already be one of the most highly attractive women, not because of genetics, but because of something far more powerful. Attraction is not what they told you. It is not the reflection in the mirror, not the contour of your face, not the dress that hugs your curves just right. It is something deeper, something unseen but undeniably felt. It is the invisible force that turns heads when you walk into a room, the unspoken magnetism that makes people drawn to you without knowing why. The world has conditioned you to believe that beauty is a surface-level game, a numbers game of symmetry, trends, and validation. But the truth is, attraction is energy, and energy does not lie. Your energy speaks before you do. It moves through the space around you, creating ripples in the consciousness of those who encounter it. People may forget what you said, they may forget what you wore, but they will never forget the way your presence made them feel. When you exist in complete alignment with your inner power, people can sense it. They don't just see you, they feel you. And that feeling lingers. It keeps them up at night. It makes them think about you long after you've left the room. Look at history. The women who have left an imprint, the ones who have been remembered, were not just physically beautiful. There was something else. Something that couldn't be defined but was undeniably there. Cleopatra, Marilyn Monroe, Princess Diana, they didn't just have looks, they had presence. They had an energy that was unmistakable. And that energy is what made them unforgettable. You have been told to chase beauty, to work for it, to enhance it. But true attractiveness is not something you chase, it is something you embody. It is a shift, a transformation from within that changes everything around you. You could be in a room full of women who fit society's standard of beauty, and yet, without even trying, you become the most captivating person there. Because attraction is not a transaction, it is a frequency. Your energy is constantly broadcasting a message to the world, whether you realize it or not. It tells people how to treat you, how to perceive you, whether to respect you, admire you, or overlook you. And this message does not come from your physical features, it comes from your self-perception. The way you carry yourself, the way you breathe, the way you exist in your own body. A woman who knows her worth moves differently. She doesn't seek approval. She doesn't wait to be chosen. She doesn't shrink herself to fit into small spaces. And because she does not need validation, she attracts it effortlessly. Think about the last time you saw someone who wasn't necessarily the most conventionally attractive person in the room. But there was just something about them. The way they spoke, the way they held themselves, the way they seemed completely at home within their own being. That is the power of energy. That is the force of inner radiance. It does not need to be loud, it does not need to be boastful, but it cannot be ignored. Your energy is the real source of your attractiveness. When you operate from a space of confidence, certainty, and alignment, you become magnetic. You do not chase, you do not convince, you do not prove your worth, because you know. And that knowing shifts the way people perceive you, even if they can't explain why. The problem is, most people live in a state of disconnection. They seek beauty through external means while completely neglecting the one thing that makes them truly captivating: their inner essence. They try to dress themselves into confidence, make up themselves into self-worth, posture themselves into desirability. But attraction is not something that can be fabricated. It is felt. And it is felt when you are completely aligned with who you are, when you do not shrink, when you do not apologize for taking up space. There is a reason why a woman who is fully in her power can walk into a room in the simplest outfit, with minimal effort, and yet everyone turns to look at her. It is not what she is wearing. It is what she is exuding. A woman who understands the power of her own energy does not need validation, and because of that, she commands it. Attraction is not about perfection. It is about presence. When you are deeply rooted in your own worth, you radiate something rare, something irresistible. It is not about the way you style your hair, the shoes you wear, or the brand of lipstick you put on. It is about the energy behind it all. You could wear the most expensive dress in the world, but if you lack inner alignment, people will not remember you. Conversely, you could walk into a room in the simplest outfit and become unforgettable simply because of the way you carry yourself, the way you look at people, the way you own your space. There are women who spend their entire lives chasing beauty, and there are women who become it. The difference: energy. One is external, fleeting, and dependent on trends. The other is eternal. You cannot fake it. You cannot buy it. You can only be it. And when you tap into this truth, you will never have to chase again. Every interaction, every connection, every room you enter will shift because of your presence. You will notice that people start treating you differently, not because you changed your appearance, but because you changed your energy. You stopped needing. You stopped proving. You started being. And that is the most attractive thing a woman can ever become. You walk into a room, and before you even speak, before you make eye contact, before anyone fully processes your presence, something shifts. The energy in the air thickens. Conversations pause for a split second. Heads subtly turn. People notice you not because you demanded attention, not because you tried to be seen, but because something about you commands it. And the truth is, most people don't even know why they are looking. They just feel it. They feel your presence before they can explain it. They sense something different, something magnetic, something rare. This is the power of true attraction, when attention is not something you seek, but something you naturally command. This is not about arrogance. This is not about ego. This is not about walking into a room with loud confidence that forces people to notice you. This is about a silent force, an unshakable presence, an energy so undeniable that the room adjusts to you without you even trying. It is the kind of power that cannot be performed, cannot be faked, and cannot be manufactured. It is either within you or it is not. But here's the secret: this kind of presence is something you cultivate, something you awaken, something you embody. Most people are loud because they are begging to be seen. They use their voice, their actions, their external appearance to pull attention toward them. But a woman who truly commands attention, she does not chase it. She does not beg for it. She becomes it. She is the kind of woman who can sit in silence, and yet every single person in the room is aware of her. She does not need to announce herself because her energy does it for her. Why does this happen? Because attraction is not about what you look like, it is about what you radiate. It is about what people feel in your presence. And when a woman is fully connected to her power, fully rooted in her self-worth, fully owning her existence without apology, it is impossible to ignore her. The human brain is wired to recognize certainty, to feel drawn to it, to be intrigued by it. And certainty is the foundation of magnetism. Think about the last time you saw a woman who wasn't necessarily speaking the loudest, who wasn't performing, who wasn't even trying to stand out, but she did. There was something about her, something unshaken, something confident without effort, something deeply present. That is the power of embodied attraction. It is the absence of need, the absence of seeking approval, the absence of trying to fit in. And in that absence, what remains is raw power. When you do not seek attention, you force the world to give it to you. When you do not prove your worth, people instinctively assume that you already have it. And this is the paradox: those who try the hardest to be noticed are often the ones who blend into the background. But the ones who are so deeply grounded in their own energy that they don't care whether people look or not, they are the ones who own the room. Energy does not lie. When a woman is deeply secure in herself, when she walks with a sense of certainty, when she moves through life without hesitation, people can feel it. It is in the way she breathes. It is in the way she holds herself. It is in the way she looks at others, not from a place of seeking validation, but from a place of quiet knowing. A knowing that she is enough. A knowing that her presence is already powerful. A knowing that she does not need to be seen to be felt. This is why some women are unforgettable. Not because they are the most beautiful, not because they are the most fashionable, not because they are the loudest, but because their energy leaves an imprint. It lingers, it stays in the minds of people long after they've left. There is a quality about them that people can't put into words, but they feel it. And that feeling is addictive. Attraction at its highest level is an energetic phenomenon. It is not just about how you look, it is about how you make people feel in your presence. And people can feel when someone is whole within themselves. When a woman does not shrink, does not overcompensate, does not seek approval, she sends a signal to the world that she is operating on a higher frequency. And those who encounter her, whether they realize it or not, are pulled into that energy. Imagine walking into every space with an internal confidence so strong that you never have to force anything. Imagine existing in such a state of certainty that people naturally gravitate toward you without you saying a word. Imagine being so at home within yourself that attention is not something you seek, but something that follows you wherever you go. This is not fantasy. This is not reserved for the lucky few. This is the power that is unlocked when you fully step into your presence. Most people are disconnected. They live in their heads, overthinking, questioning themselves, doubting their worth. And when they enter a room, that energy is felt. People sense hesitation, they sense insecurity, they sense the need for external validation. And the result? They blend in. They go unnoticed. Not because they are unattractive, not because they lack beauty, but because their energy is not commanding. But a woman who has done the inner work, a woman who has silenced the noise, who has let go of the need for validation, who knows who she is at the deepest level. She does not enter a room seeking attention. She becomes the center of gravity. People cannot help but notice her. Not because she is trying, but because her energy demands it. Because her very existence radiates a frequency that cannot be ignored. Because her presence alone shifts the atmosphere. This is the ultimate power, not needing to prove, not needing to seek, not needing to chase, but simply being. And in that being, becoming the most irresistible force in the room. There is something about you that people can't quite put their finger on. They are drawn in, fascinated, unable to look away, but they don't fully understand why. You don't overshare, you don't explain yourself. You don't hand out access to your mind, your emotions, your energy like free samples to anyone who asks. Instead, you carry something that is increasingly rare in a world addicted to validation. You carry mystery. And mystery is magnetic. It is intoxicating. It is the reason people find themselves thinking about you long after you've left. It is the reason someone who barely knows you wants to know more. It is the force that makes you unforgettable. Most people give themselves away too easily. They explain every thought, reveal every intention, expose every feeling, hoping that the more they share, the more people will understand them, like them, choose them. But the opposite is true. The more you give away, the less valuable it becomes. The more people feel like they have full access to you, the less intrigued they are. The most attractive women are the ones who know how to hold something back, not as a game, not as a tactic, but as an embodiment of self-respect. When you realize that your energy, your time, your thoughts, your presence are not things to be handed out carelessly, you start to move differently. You start to exude something different. And the world feels it. A woman who carries mystery is a woman who understands the power of the unknown. People do not desire what they fully understand. They do not crave what is predictable, what is obvious, what is too easily obtained. The moment something is fully accessible, it loses its magic. This is why luxury brands never flood the market, why exclusivity increases value, why the things we cannot easily have become the things we want the most. This is not manipulation. This is human psychology. And when a woman naturally embodies this, When she carries herself as though her presence is a privilege, not a given, people react to her differently. Mystery is not about silence. It is not about withholding. It is about depth. It is about knowing that not everyone deserves immediate access to your soul, your emotions, your truth. It is about choosing who gets to know you on a deeper level, who earns that privilege, and who does not. When you have this awareness, people sense it. They feel that there is something beneath the surface that they want to unlock. And that is what keeps them interested. That is what makes you unforgettable. A woman with mystery never rushes to fill silence. She is not afraid of pauses in conversation. She does not try to over-explain herself to make others comfortable. She does not feel the need to lay out every detail of her life for validation. She knows that the more people have to wonder, the more they will be drawn in. Because human nature is wired to seek answers, to solve puzzles, to uncover what is hidden. When you become the kind of woman who does not give everything away at once, you activate that part of the brain in others. They want to figure you out. They want to know more. And in that desire, in that curiosity, attraction is born. There is a reason why novels, movies, and stories that captivate people the most are the ones that do not reveal everything too soon. The ones that hold an air of suspense. The ones that make you feel like there is something more beneath the surface, waiting to be uncovered. A woman who embodies this naturally is a woman who owns her power. She does not rush to be understood. She does not fear being misunderstood. She moves with the confidence of someone who knows that those who are meant to understand her will take the time to do so. And that patience, that unshaken energy, makes her presence irresistible. Mystery is in your actions. It is in the way you speak, not too much, not too little, just enough to leave them wanting more. It is in the way you move, not rushed, not frantic, but deliberate, intentional. It is in the way you carry your emotions, not displayed for the world to see, but felt by those who are truly paying attention. It is in the way you handle connection, not desperately seeking validation, but allowing people to come to you. It is the difference between a woman who begs to be understood and a woman who allows herself to be discovered. And the latter, she will always be the one people remember. The world has conditioned women to believe that they must constantly explain themselves, be overly available, prove their worth in every interaction. But the truth is, the most powerful presence is the one that does not seek approval. When you walk into a room with the quiet confidence of someone who knows her value without needing to display it for everyone to see, you become someone people can't stop thinking about. Because they will feel that there is more to you than what meets the eye. They will sense that you are not like the rest. And that is what makes a woman truly captivating. Mystery is not about creating walls, it is about maintaining depth. It is about knowing that your essence, your energy, your truth are not things to be handed out to just anyone. It is about understanding that when people feel like they have to earn your attention, your time, your story, they will value it more. And in that value, they will desire you more. The most attractive women in history were not the ones who exposed everything. They were the ones who left something to the imagination. In a world where everyone is oversharing, over-explaining, over-proving, the rarest thing a woman can be is mysterious. And in that rarity, she becomes unforgettable. There is something undeniable about a woman who carries herself like a secret. A woman who does not lay all her cards on the table, who does not reveal everything she thinks and feels at once, who moves through life with a quiet sense of knowing. She is not mysterious by accident, she is mysterious because she understands that the moment you make yourself completely available, the moment you give away everything about yourself too soon, you lose the power of intrigue. She knows that mystery is not about deception, it is about depth, and depth is what makes people lean in, what makes them want to uncover what is beneath the surface. When you reveal everything about yourself all at once, you become predictable, and predictability is the enemy of attraction. A woman who holds mystery does not explain herself unnecessarily. She does not rush to prove her worth to people who haven't earned the right to know her. She understands that curiosity is a force greater than any external beauty, and she allows that force to work in her favor. She lets people wonder. She lets them think. She lets them fill in the gaps with their own imagination, and in doing so she becomes far more intriguing than a woman who lays everything bare. She knows that the mind craves the unknown, that people want to understand what they cannot immediately figure out, and she becomes the embodiment of that desire. There is a reason why the most fascinating women in history have never been the ones who followed the rules of society, who made themselves easily understood, who conformed to the expectations placed upon them. They were the women who moved differently, who carried themselves as though they knew something the world did not. They were the women who could sit in a room full of people and say very little, yet still be the most captivating presence in the room. They were the women who did not chase, who did not beg for attention, who did not seek to be chosen, because they already knew that those who truly saw them would naturally gravitate toward them. Mystery is power because it shifts the dynamic. It puts you in a position where people feel like they need to earn access to you, rather than you proving yourself to them. The moment you make yourself too available, the moment you explain yourself too much, the moment you seek validation from others, you lose the element of intrigue that makes you unforgettable. But when you hold something back, when you allow people to see just enough to make them want more, you become the woman they cannot stop thinking about. You become the woman who lingers in their mind long after you've left the room. The most attractive women in the world are not always the most physically beautiful, but they are always the ones who know how to make people feel something. And mystery is a feeling. It is the tension between knowing and not knowing. It is the anticipation, the wonder, the silent question in someone's mind, who is she really? And that question is what keeps people intrigued. That question is what makes you unforgettable. A woman who embodies mystery does not need to be the loudest in the room. She does not need to demand attention because her presence does that for her. She understands that less is more, that sometimes saying less, revealing less, showing less can make a far greater impact than putting everything on display. She does not feel the need to prove her worth to strangers because she knows that her energy alone will attract the right people. She walks with certainty, not because she needs the world to notice her, but because she is so deeply connected to herself that she does not need external validation. People will always be drawn to what they do not fully understand. They will always crave what feels just out of reach. They will always be intrigued by what makes them feel something beyond the ordinary. And when you learn to embody this, when you learn to exist in a state of quiet confidence, when you learn to let people wonder about you rather than giving everything away too soon, you will see how the world shifts in your favor. You will notice how people start treating you differently, how they respect you more, how they chase the feeling of being around you. The difference between a woman who is magnetic and a woman who is forgettable is simple. The magnetic woman knows that she does not need to give everything away to be seen. She knows that presence is stronger than performance, that energy is louder than words, that a look, a pause, a moment of silence can silence Planetada's explanations. She understands that attraction is not just about what people see, but about what they feel. And she becomes a master at making people feel something that they cannot quite put into words. Most people live in a state of overexposure. They share too much, too soon. They seek validation through excessive explanation, through oversharing, through constantly trying to prove their worth. But a woman who understands the power of mystery, she moves differently. She does not rush to be understood. She does not over-explain her actions. She does not feel the need to convince people to like her. She simply exists in her power, and in that existence she becomes unforgettable. The secret to true attraction is not in revealing everything, but in leaving something to be discovered. It is not in being completely known, but in being deeply felt. And when you learn to master this, when you learn to hold space for yourself without seeking approval, when you learn to let people come to you rather than chasing after them, You will see how effortlessly attraction begins to flow in your life. You will no longer have to convince people of your value because they will feel it the moment they meet you. There is something unmistakable about a woman who radiates confidence without needing to announce it. She walks into a room, and people feel it before she even speaks. She does not seek approval. She does not beg for validation. She does not shrink herself to make others comfortable. She owns herself so fully, so unapologetically, that the world has no choice but to take notice. This is not arrogance. This is not ego. This is the kind of confidence that is felt, not performed. The kind of confidence that does not come from external validation, but from an unshakable inner knowing that she is enough, exactly as she is. Most people confuse confidence with loudness. They think it's about being the most vocal person in the room, about proving their worth to others, about constantly displaying their strengths. But real confidence, it is silent. It is effortless. It is in the way a woman carries herself, in the way she moves, in the way she holds space without needing to fill it with unnecessary words. It is the way she looks at people, not seeking permission, not needing approval, but with the quiet certainty that she belongs wherever she chooses to be. A woman with this kind of confidence does not explain herself to people who do not understand her. She does not beg to be accepted. She does not dilute her presence to fit into places that were never meant for her. She knows that true confidence is not about being liked by everyone, it is about liking herself enough that external opinions do not shake her. She does not fear rejection because she understands that rejection is not a reflection of her worth, but a redirection towards something greater. She does not fear being misunderstood because she knows that those who truly see her will not need an explanation. There is an undeniable energy to a woman who is completely at home in herself. People can feel it in the way she walks, in the way she holds eye contact, in the way she speaks, not to impress, but to express. She does not seek to dominate others, but she also does not shrink in their presence. She does not need to make herself smaller to be accepted, nor does she need to prove her power to be respected. Her presence alone is enough. When a woman operates from this level of confidence, everything around her shifts. People are drawn to her without knowing why. They want to be in her presence, not because she is trying to impress them, but because she makes them feel something different. She raises the standard of what it means to be around her. She does not chase, because she understands that anything meant for her will come to her naturally. She does not force connections, because she knows that the right people will recognize her energy without her needing to convince them. Confidence is the absence of need. It is the ability to walk away from anything that does not align with your worth. It is the refusal to settle, the refusal to shrink, the refusal to conform to expectations that do not serve you. A woman who embodies this kind of confidence does not tolerate disrespect. She does not entertain mediocrity. She does not cling to things that are not meant for her, because she knows that her value does not decrease based on someone else's inability to see it. She is not afraid to be alone because she understands that solitude is not a weakness, it is a power. Most people walk through life seeking external validation. They look for reassurance in the eyes of others. They measure their worth based on social approval. They let other people's opinions shape their reality. But a woman who has stepped into her power does not operate this way. She validates herself. She decides her worth. She sets the standard. And because of that, the world adjusts to her energy. There is a reason why confident women stand out. It is not just their appearance, their style, or their words, it is the way they carry themselves. It is the way they take up space without apologizing for it. It is the way they walk into a room and make people feel their presence without saying a word. It is the way they move through life, knowing they are worthy of everything they desire without needing permission to claim it. This is the kind of confidence that is magnetic. It is not the kind that tries to be seen. It is the kind that cannot be ignored. It is the kind that lingers in people's minds, that makes them wonder what it is about her that feels so different. And the answer is simple. She does not seek approval, she embodies it. She does not chase attention, she commands it. She does not beg to be chosen, she chooses herself. And that is what makes her unforgettable. There is an undeniable force in a woman who is completely at peace with herself. A woman who does not seek validation, who does not beg for approval, who does not need the world to tell her that she is enough because she already knows it deep in her soul. She moves through life with a kind of certainty that is rare, a presence that is felt, a calm power that draws people in without effort. She does not chase, she does not prove, she does not force, she simply is, and that is enough. Most people are uncomfortable with stillness. They need noise, distractions, external confirmations to feel worthy. But a woman who has mastered self-acceptance does not operate from that place. She is not searching for something outside of herself to complete her because she understands that she is already whole. She is not waiting for someone to tell her that she is beautiful, that she is valuable, that she is worthy of love, because she has already given herself that recognition. And that self-certainty, that inner peace, is what makes her presence magnetic. She does not over-explain herself. She does not apologize for being who she is. She does not change her essence to fit into places that do not align with her. She understands that her authenticity is her greatest strength, and she refuses to dilute it for the comfort of others. She does not seek to be universally liked, because she knows that true self-respect means being willing to disappoint others in order to remain true to herself. She does not fear judgment because she has already accepted herself in ways that the world may never fully understand. And that kind of self-acceptance, it is unshakable. A woman who fully accepts herself does not shrink in the presence of others. She does not make herself small to be more digestible. She does not downplay her intelligence, her beauty, her dreams to make others feel comfortable. She has released the need for approval because she understands that the people who are meant for her will never require her to be anything other than who she truly is. She walks away from anything that asks her to compromise her self-worth. She chooses herself in every situation, not out of selfishness, but out of an unbreakable understanding that her relationship with herself is the foundation for everything in her life. When a woman reaches this level of self-acceptance, she no longer reacts to the opinions of others. She no longer seeks permission to live the way she wants to live. She no longer lets the fear of rejection dictate her actions. She understands that not everyone will like her, and she is completely at peace with that. She does not let criticism shake her, because she knows that criticism is often a reflection of the insecurities of others. She does not let compliments define her because she knows that external validation is fleeting. She remains centered, rooted, immovable. And that makes her powerful beyond measure. Most people are trapped in cycles of insecurity, constantly questioning if they are good enough, constantly seeking approval, constantly changing themselves to fit into expectations that were never meant for them. But a woman who has embraced herself fully, she is free. She does not need the world to validate her because she has already validated herself. She does not need attention to feel valuable because she already knows her worth. She does not need to be understood because she has already made peace with herself. And when you no longer need anything from the outside world to feel whole, you become unstoppable. People feel the difference between a woman who is seeking something and a woman who already has it within her. They feel the difference between desperation and certainty. They feel the difference between someone who needs validation and someone who has already given it to herself. And that is why self-acceptance is the most attractive quality a woman can have. It is the foundation of everything. It is what allows her to walk into any room and change the energy without saying a word. It is what makes her unforgettable. It is what makes her a force of nature. A woman who has embraced every part of herself, her strengths, her flaws, her past, her desires, does not hesitate when she speaks. She does not doubt herself when she makes a decision. She does not second-guess whether she is deserving of love, success, respect, or happiness. She knows that she is. And because she knows it, the world reflects it back to her. The universe moves in favor of the woman who moves in favor of herself. She no longer asks if she is worthy. She embodies that worth in every breath she takes. Most people live their entire lives waiting for permission to be themselves. They wait for approval, for acceptance, for someone to tell them that they are enough. But the most powerful shift a woman can make is realizing that she does not need permission. She does not need anyone to tell her that she is beautiful, that she is strong, that she is valuable. She claims it for herself. She owns it. And the moment she does, she stops seeking because she already is. And that is what makes her magnetic. That is what makes her unforgettable. That is what makes her a woman who is truly, unshockably, undeniably powerful.